Hey guys, I'm the Crazy Dane, and today I want to talk to you about PDWs, and more specifically the SR-2. Now, I haven't really been a huge fan of the PDWs in Battlefield 4, even though I loved them in Battlefield 3, but back then they were the all-class weapons as the carbines are now. And ever since the new patch has arrived, I've heard a lot about the new changes made to PDWs to make them more viable compared to a lot of the other weapons out there. And for this reason, I wanted to test them out. But as said before, I'm not a huge fan of the PDWs in Battlefield 4, so I had to figure out which one I wanted to do extensive testing on, and for some reason, the SR-2 just came natural to me. I know that this gun has high damage. It's one of the only PDWs with the 4-shot kill potential, along with the UMP-45 and the MPX. And even though the MPX should be on paper better than the SR-2 because it has 1 more damage per bullet and it's overall easier to use, it has got a faster reload speed and should overall just be better. But I just can't seem to figure out how to use that gun. For some reason, no matter what I do, I just do horribly with it. So through a quick test of all of the PDWs, I figured that the SR-2 suited me the most. So I used it for quite a while and I was able to do pretty well with it. I went on some amazing kill streaks and I found that using a silencer enabled me to run around the map as I wanted to without getting disturbed, so to speak, and I was able to do some pretty good flank offs here and there, as some of them are shown in this video. But even with that said, I have to say that I'm not too sold on the PDWs just yet. I still don't see a reason why you would use a PDW over any of the carbines available to you, and I even use DMRs now. They were fun before, but since the patch they've become a viable choice now for medium to long ranges. So unless you're in extreme close quarters where you have cover from all the different angles most of the time like you have in Operation Locker, I can't really recommend using PDWs and even the high rate of fire weapons. I tend to have a really aggressive playstyle with the PDWs. I tend to charge forward more than I would do with any other gun with a magazine of this size and with this rate of fire. I would try to stay back a bit more or try to flank off and pick some of the targets that is easy to take out without getting noticed, instead of doing as I've done in this clip, put myself in an awkward situation. Now, there's a lot of pros and cons to PDWs and especially to this weapon. This weapon even received kind of a huge nerf in the patch with an increase to the bullet spread. But I haven't noticed that at all, because no matter what, I seem to always be on my target even when I'm moving and hip firing. So that's more or less the pro side to this gun, is that you can move and fire and hip fire and even be on target. And since it's a 4-shot kill up close in the body, then it's quite a good gun, though any of the 3-shot kill or 4-shot kill weapons would be considered overpowered due to the weapon damage reduction from this patch. So it's still viable, and I've seen quite a lot of people use the MPX because that too is an 4-shot kill potential up close, and that is superior compared to the 5-shot kills. So unless the enemy get the drop on you and hit you in the head a few shots before you even get to react, then you would more or less win every firefight, and that's the reason for the silencer. I am able to sneak up on people and catch them with the pants down so they won't notice me, and I'll be the one catching them with their pants down and not the other way around. And when you're using a high rate of fire main weapon that has the potential to 4-shot kill, or any weapon for that matter that has high rate of fire, it would be a great idea to supplement the secondary with a heavy hitting and precise weapon such as the Deagle, the Magnum, or just any of the revolvers, because they do quite a lot of damage, and with the trigger delay being removed, they're actually quite good now. and I've used the Magnum ever since the patch release because this gun is just a beast now. I haven't really used it before this patch, but now I'm using it more or less in every loadout. And back to the SR-2. It is actually quite easy to use, even though some may say that the recoil pattern is quite unorthodox and quite unpredictable. But in close quarters, I haven't really been in a position where I needed to compensate too much for the recoil. I tend to burst fire quite a lot with more or less any weapon that I use, so I'm quite precise. And even when there's enemies suddenly in front of me and I tend to hip fire and spray, then the bullets more or less hit where I'm aiming and I want them to hit. So I haven't really had to master it, so to speak. I've just had to pick it up and start using it, and I would say that it's actually quite easy to use compared to some of the other PDWs. I've tried to use the UMP-45, which was my favorite in Battlefield 4 before the patch, but I kind of steered away from that gun because I started to use the carbines instead, and they are just superior in any way, more or less. But if you're new to this game, even though I think that you're not, because this game has been out for a year, but anyway, if you pick this gun up, it should be fairly easy to use and get to know, and you should be able to do pretty well right from the get-go with this gun. And I would definitely recommend this gun if you're just started and you want something great for close quarters. But with the reduced muzzle velocity, I wouldn't recommend this for medium to long range. Close to medium, yeah, but keep it that way. If you want to use this gun, play in maps with a lot of cover because you're more or less going to need it, because you spend all of the bullets quite fast and then you have to reload, and even though the reload is quite decent, you'll still have to be in cover because it's gonna happen a lot due to the fact that you'll empty your clip out. Now, I'd like to know what's your favorite PDW and what kind of playstyle you use that PDW for, what and why. And that's it for this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more Battlefield 4 videos. I'll keep uploading them at a steady pace. And don't forget to check out g2a.com/r/CrazyDaneGaming for cheap games, and that way you'll support me as well. So have fun. I'll see you in the next one.